Hi. Hopefully that montage showed you how similar the two dishes prawn mee and bisque are. For the most part, the recipes I show here are the basic versions of the dishes. There are many things that can be improved based on personal preferences, but if you really want to try making either of these, you don't have to be stressed about the exact ingredients. At their most basic level, both dishes are about extracting the most flavor out of prawn shells to make a flavorful soup. There's a good chance that both of these dishes came about because people didn't have much ingredients back then. Just prawn shells, salt and water will give you a flavorful prawn soup. Prawn mee also exists in the city Xiamen in China, but for the most part, the Singapore or Malaysian version is pretty unique to the region. The prawn mee I'll be cooking is like an in-between version of the Singapore and Malaysian versions. The difference being that the Malaysian version mixes in sambal while cooking the stock. Prawn mee is also called Hokkien mee in Malaysia, but in Singapore, Hokkien mee refers to this. Both are not wrong names, since fried Hokkien mee is very similar to prawn mee, which you understand why I say that when you see how fried Hokkien mee is made in the next video. Anyway, enough talking, let's go in depth and compare the two dishes. Prawn mee is made from two stocks combined together. To start, you want to make a pork stock using bones or ribs. Start by blanching them for 10 seconds and pouring the water away to wash away the impurities, get rid of excess fat and any gaminess. Western recipes don't actually do this for soups, so it's totally fine to skip this if you're feeling really lazy. Place the pork ribs back, season with salt and just let it simmer for at least 1 hour. Since I was filming, mine went for more than 2 hours. You can't go wrong with more time. Other than the pork stock, both recipes start to be quite similar. Prawn mee starts with sauteing dried shrimps, while bisque uses mee pua, which is a combination of vegetables, most commonly onion, carrot and celery. Though I'm using onions, carrots and parsley. Add in your prawn shells, salt them and fry them. Once the prawn shells turn red, start pouring water. Prawn mee hawkers might boil the prawn and pork stock separately, but I combined them together anyway since I needed more stove space. At this point, you can add in rock sugar, soy sauce, fish sauce, Chinese licorice, lohan guo, orange peels or any kind of seasoning you want. We're going basic here, so I'm only using salt. For bisque, throw in a bay leaf, some thyme, tomato paste and crushed tomatoes. The classic bisque in Escoffier's French cookbook in 1903 actually doesn't use tomatoes, but I think tomatoes are pretty crucial for that classic bisque flavor. Check out my blog post if you want more information on bisque history. Then just let the stock boil for at least 40 minutes. Some say 40 minutes is max, some say the longer the better. You can't really go wrong with about 40 minutes. But 10 minutes in, you want to add rice into the bisque. Rice helps to thicken the bisque. Although some say rice is traditional, if you go back even further than Escoffier's recipe, like in the 17th century recipe by La Varenne, bread was actually used as a thickener. For prawn mee, you can use the thyme to make a sambal belacan. Take a bit of belacan, which is fermented dried shrimp paste, and blend it together with garlic, shallots, chilies, salt, sugar and oil. You have to adjust the taste using salt and sugar. Fry the chili in the pan until it turns slightly darker. Then reserve some of that sambal, which I forgot to do down here, and cook your prawns to make sambal prawns. Top up with more water as needed. After 40 minutes, you can take out the pork ribs for prawn mee, and the rice should be fully cooked in the bisque. Then blend everything in the pot. Yes, including the shells. You want to extract everything in the prawns. In the past, they used mortar and pestles, but obviously now we use blenders. Pro tip, this amount of soup is not a safe liquid level to blend soups using a hand blender. So if you had more common sense than I do, you will transfer this to an actual blender. Strain the resulting mixture and you'll be left with prawn mee soup and bisque. Try to squeeze every bit of juice out of the shells. This is good enough on its own, but we can take it to the next level. Put the soups back on the stove and add in sambal to taste. For bisque, add in cream to your desired creaminess. And then add back the pork ribs to warm them up or prawns to cook them. Now for the sides. Prawn mee classic sides are yellow Hokkien noodles, water spinach, bean sprouts and an egg. For the bisque, I don't have bread, so I'm using frozen roti canai. Just mix some butter with garlic and parsley or any herbs and put them on the roti and into the oven. And there we have it. Two dishes with very similar techniques using prawn shells. If you're living in Singapore and just cook prawn mee, this is where you have an existential trap as you realize that you just spent more money and time making something that can be bought for about $16 for just 10 minutes from your home. If you try making this, be sure to reserve some of that sambal and prawn stock for my next video, because we'll be making fried Hokkien mee, a dish that is truly unique to Singapore.